Oh no, my son says this car looks like a... Life's too short to drive boring cars. Welcome back to Exotic Car Play Place, everyone. Thanks for joining in. Hey, have you ever seen cars that look like something else in your day-to-day life? Maybe it's something ugly, maybe it's an animal, a cucumber, or possibly it's something you use in the kitchen. Whatever it is, I know I've seen cars that have these odd looks. Sometimes they're great, sometimes they're not so great. Let's walk around and talk about some of those cars. And maybe you own one of these strange, odd-looking cars. Maybe you don't, but I'm sure you've seen something that strikes a chord with you. Let's take a walk around and see what we can find. So the first one is a popular choice, and you find lots of these all over the place. Largely because they're reliable, largely because they're practical, but they still look odd to me. And that is the Toyota Sienna. These things look an awful lot like a milk carton on wheels. Do you guys not agree? It certainly has that look. If you picture a milk carton sideways, that definitely has a look to it that resembles what you drink in your fridge. The Toyota Sienna. And another car that has a distinctive look is a white SUV, specifically Nissan or Infiniti, dressed and draped in white colors. This car looks like an egg. And I can't help but think, when I look at a vehicle like this is a Nissan Murano. The older ones are even more, and some of the Infinitis as well look like eggs when they're dressed in white, like this. Me looking around, look at, you've got that nice rounded shell on the front end, and you circle around and you've got that rounded wider end at the back. To be quite frank, this thing looks almost like an egg. Now the older models are even more egg shaped, but just look at that intentional rounded off nose there. It definitely has an egg look to it, does it not, guys? Sorry, I think it does. And every time I see this next car, it often reminds me of my boot or my shoe, just like this. See, it has that general look to it. But there it is. It is the Mercedes GLK. Now, they no longer make these anymore, but look at it. I mean, you've got the toe and you've got the upper section. It almost looks like a high-top running shoe. And I've always thought when I see these GLKs that they often look like some kind of a shoe or a boot, just because the pronounced back end is very squared off at the back. And of course, as we circle around to the front, you see it's like a skinny toe at the front end right there. See that? Again, what do you guys think? Boot or not? And then we have Lexus with the insane grills. Take a look. Oversized beyond belief. That's massive. How about these two grills? Here you have the NX, which has an underbite, looks like a fish from the side. And then you have the RX, which like it has a serious underbite. So two very contrasting looks within the same brand. And oddly enough, the new BMW looks an awful lot like it has flaring nostrils. What do you think, guys? And then you have the Mercedes B-Class. It almost looked as though it didn't quite get the growth hormones it needed to grow up and become a real Mercedes-Benz. How about this cute little car? It's a Mazda 3. Don't you think these guys are smiling at you? Look at that. You can't just help but notice the big smiley face and the chin and the cute little eyes looking at you. I've always thought Mazdas look like they're smiling at you. Why? Because they're a friendly car, unassuming, unoffensive, and just easy to live with. And you want a fun, controversial one that actually does look a little bit like some strange animal? How about this one? Right there we have the new 4 Series Coupe. Very controversial. A lot of people are loving these, and even more people seem to be disliking the new look of the 4 Series Coupe with this, of course, with this beaver style front grille. That's what everybody refers it to as buck tooth, beaver tooth. It definitely has a resemblance to some sort of bark gnawing animal. Now this is an example of one of those cars that it's what's underneath that counts, because these cars are better on a technical level than they've ever been. And now the new M3 and M4 also carries a similar grille, although slightly more aggressively styled. The fact of the matter is you just can't get away from that grille, and it does look like a beaver. Oh no, my son says my Jag F-Type looks like a catfish. Look at this. What do you guys think? He says when you look at this car from straight on, it has the mouth, it has the eyes, and it has the whiskers. Just look at it from this angle. Does that look like a catfish to you? I guess in some lights it kind of does look like a bit of a catfish. He's also commented that my F-Type also looks like a hearse. Oh, I hope I'm not riding around in a hearse. I hope I'm a little too young for that, but I guess you just never know. And with all of that said, everyone, I'm sure you enjoyed it. Be sure to click on that video. We're going to talk about some of the ugliest cars on the road today. Hope you enjoyed it. See you real soon. Bye-bye.